met with Sheila some time ago, and I almost have no words. I mean, what she can offer today is just incredible. It's called Because It Takes Stamina Today. And for you to be successful in life and in business, yes, it takes a lot of stamina. We're going to bring up Miss Sheila Robinson Kiss. Miss Kiss is a well sought after speaker, trainer, and entrepreneur. She's MSW, LSW, SW, President and CEO of Lakecom Inc. As she said on the board there, what will it take? Because it takes stamina. What Ms. Robinson Kiss does is she helps individuals, groups, and corporations get over it to get on with it for more than a decade. Many of us have the same questions on our minds these days, and she'll let us know what those questions are, I guess. And which she's going to give you relevant answers, accompanied by practical solutions, sprinkled with generous helpings of laughter, and she will provide you with this at this one-of-a-kind event. So, please give us a warm reception.
Okay, good morning. Good morning. Let me get a little more energy here. Good morning. Good morning. Wonderful. Welcome to the Early Bird Special. It is wonderful to see these bright, shining faces. There's a lot of good-looking people in the room. Easy on the eyes. You know, when I walked in this morning, I told Mr. McKnight that I had made a few changes to the program. For those of you who do or do not know Ron, he is a perfectionist. So I think I made him a little nervous, but Ron, I want to tell you it's too late. You gave the mic to Mrs. Kiss for 45 minutes. So we're going to have a good time. We're going to have a good time. I thought a lot about what I wanted to share with you today. We have about 45 precious minutes to spend. And as you know, there's so many charts, graphs, books, volumes have been written about what it takes to succeed in business and in life. But I left the charts and graphs at home. Someone said, good. We don't need any more charts and graphs. Because when you peel back the layers, strip all that away, what it really takes is 6 essential elements. I call those the 6 that will get you there and keep you there. Where is there? There is anywhere you want it to be. There is your goals, your hopes, your dreams, your wishes, whether they be in your business life or your personal life. My true education in the area of succeeding in business and in life started over 35 years ago in a small little town called Joliet, Illinois. Does anyone know what Joliet, Illinois is famous for? Please. Oh, yes. We have the finest prison, bar none, in the no pun intended, in the United States, and that is Statesville Correctional Institution. And I grew up right across the way from Statesville. Statesville was in bird's eye view. Over the years, people said, Sheila, hard work, where do you get your work ethic? I started working when I was 9 years old, had a 34-house paper route with my sister. And I tell them, I assure you, if you woke up every morning and the first thing you saw was a prison gate, you would be highly motivated to succeed in every area of life. My parents didn't need a belt, didn't need a switch. Come here. There. Now get inside and do the trick. That's where you're going. Okay? And one of my favorite things to do with my grandfather, every Saturday at 2 o'clock, we knew what was going to happen. That big bus, it was filled with the fresh prisoners, the fresh inmates, is what we call them. The gate was going to open, and they were going to go right on inside. So we would sit and speculate. Now, I wonder what went down here. I wonder what this one did. I wonder what that one did. And to fully appreciate this, what happened next, you have to understand my grandfather was a Southern gentleman, very soft-spoken, never raised his voice. But on this day, he got a little spicy with me. Because I said, you know what? I could never end up like those people. It never happened to me. And so he caught me. And his words to me that day stuck with me. They're still with me now. He said, let me tell you something, little girl. Be careful who you judge and how you judge. You make enough poor choices, you'd be surprised where you end up in this lifetime. Ladies and gentlemen, it boils down to choices. Life, it's all choice. Success in business and life is choices. You had a choice. You could have slept in this morning. You came to the early bird special. If I may say so, that was a very mighty fine choice. It's the choices that we make day to day, month to month, year to year, get us where we're going. We build our success the same way we get rich, the same way we go broke. First slowly and then all at once. It takes stamina. You have to make good choices. And one of the most important choices that you will make in your life, this ongoing choice, is how you choose to manage your relationships. I'm going to say that again. It's how you choose to manage your relationships. Every one of you at your table, you have a blue sheet of paper. Will you take that out? The thin sheet, call it Q&A answer sheet. Q&A answer sheet. I have 6 questions that I'm going to ask you during our time together. I want you to think about them, answer them from the heart. Answer them for yourself, not for me. No one's going to look at these. You won't be turning in this portion of your paper. My first question is, are your relationships fueling your life for the better? I'd like you to answer. I'm not just talking about the business relationships. I'm talking about across the board, because I'm taking this from the work-life perspective. It's all integrated. In general, overall, are your relationships fueling your life for the better? Take a moment to answer that. For you, I don't want you to write this down, but I want you to think about this scenario, because I'm going to paint a picture for you. If a well has run dry and you are thirsty, how long should you stand in front of the well hoping, wishing, praying on bended knee that that well is going to produce water? How long should you wait? That's the question. I want you to answer that question in your mind. So we say, well, Sheila, that sounds silly. I'm not going to stand in front of a well wishing for water. I know it's dry. But yet 70% of people do just that. They're standing in front of the well wishing for water, and it's run dry. That's why most people can't get to the beneficial relationships, the fruitful relationships that are going to help you build your business and life, because we are standing in front of a well, wasting our energy on people and circumstances that produce no fruits for our lives. This presentation is about solutions. So what I want you to do, somewhere on the back of this blue sheet, would you please write out for me a person, could be a person or circumstance, that has caused you chronic pain, chronic problems. These are the Tylenol, people in the Tylenol category. They're always reaching for a pill to have to deal with them. Write that down, just a chronic issue. It's problematic, and you keep having it. It could be a person or a circumstance. Somewhere in the back of your blue sheet. Now, I have great news for you. Where'd that water go? Because this is a good news presentation. These people and these circumstances who have chronically caused you issues and problems, this is where your energy is going. They've given you a wonderful gift, beautiful gift. What is that gift? Any thoughts? I'll tell you. They have given you the gift of predictability. The gift of predictability. And anything that you can predict, anything that you can count, anything that you can count on, you can start to control. Today, you can take back control and claim that full 70%. If you have a phone, can you pick it up for a minute? If you have brought a phone with you, can you pick it up for a second? Thank you very much. They call these smartphones. I'm going to tell you why they call them smartphones. Because all of the phones that you're holding have an advanced feature. It's called the auto-responder and auto-messaging. So Sheila, where are you going with this? Why is it such a brilliant feature? Because it takes zero energy. The thought is taken out of it. You want to send a text message? Go to your auto messaging. It's a pre-canned. It's already there. You don't even have to think about it. Today, I want you to take an inventory of the relationships and circumstances in your life that are zapping that critical 70% energy, and I want you to throw them in the auto response category. What do I mean by that? Anyone or anything that's taking your energy and giving you a headache, well, I just say you're giving it too much power. You're giving over your power on a platter. 10 years ago, I was in a space, I said, wow, these people are bothering me. I'm driving home from work. I'm thinking about it. I'm not productive. So I need to do something for myself. So I got into this research. Let me show you how I started to use the auto response. Took my energy back. I was under contract with a lady at this time. She's one of these nitpickers, you know. You can't do anything right, but doggone it, if you do something wrong, she's going to call you in the office. And she was scrutinizing all my programs. I used to get upset, irritated, agitated. I'm going to quit. I can't deal with this. This is just crazy. So I'm going to auto respond. Next time she called me in the office, we got this, we need to make a correction. So I looked right at her and said, thank you for bringing that to my attention. What do I need to do to correct it? Done. Energy on reserve. Have a family member, we call him Uncle O. Uncle O has been critical since I was this high. Can't do anything right. 3 years ago, it was my turn to make Thanksgiving dinner. I was pretty proud of it. Uncle O says to me, his turkey is just a little bit dry, and he went on with his whole thing. That would have torn me up. That would have torn me up 10, 15 years ago. I looked at Uncle O, auto response. Uncle O, you've been drinking too much. I'm going to get a second helping of this mac and cheese. We're done. You catch where I'm going with this? You cannot control what other people are doing, saying, or thinking, but you can start to take control of your response. And once you take that energy back, you have that energy to get to the real nice stuff. You have the energy to invest in what I call your winner's circle. Those are the relationships that fuel your life. Those are the connections and the people. They want to see you succeed. There is synergy. There is synergy. There is a commonality. You build those bonds. I have been in New Jersey for about 8 months. I came here, I didn't know a soul. I had built my business on the West Coast, in the Midwest. I'm standing here in front of you for one reason. Because when I got here, I didn't start building a portfolio of business cards. I started building relationships. met up with good folks here like Ron. Okay, Ron is a guru of networking and business development. I hope you're all on his mailer list and come to these programs that he's hosting every week. Met up with good folks like Vince Vicari at the Small Business Development Center. He was my second stop here. Let me tell you something. One session with Vince was worth, I could have gone to 20 random networking events. One session, point in the right direction. Kamari Davis, here in the house, has written many, many books on parenting. She's a local and national expert on parenting. I got this little one on the way. Now, in my mind, I'm a great parent. I know I'm delusional, because this is my first kid. Kamari's son just landed an internship at the White House. I put her on speed dial. I need to talk to you, because I'm already messed up. The books told me that pregnancy is a joyful, blissful experience. I was in by 4 months. I called Kamari and I said, did I miss the bliss? Because this here is uncomfortable. This is not what I thought it was going to be. So I have to put myself around good people to get guidance. Where's Frank from Lotito's Deli and Bakery? I did not anticipate doing any business with Frank and his wife Nadine. I started, it was a cupcake addiction. I was actually exercising, kept going past the deli. It smells so good. There's so many delicious things in there. And I started going in with just a smile. You know, we started talking, struck up a conversation. So we're in business affiliation now, good people. But folks, it's just relationship. It's pure relationship. And what I'm saying to you, that energy needs to be at a 90-10 split. 90% of that energy needs to be going into your quality circle. That's not to be confused with the Facebook circle, because I know people who have a quality circle of 3 or 4. Personal lives, beautiful. Business lives, through the roof. I know people who have circle of 19, 20. They say, oh, you know, I'm in the mix, I'm in the loop, but it's not going anywhere for you. It's not about the quantity. It's about the quality. I don't know a lot of people here in church. I'm building my network. I'm building relationships. It takes time. Don't know a lot of people, but I know the right people. I know good people. I'm interested in seeing them succeed. They feel the same. That's the people you need in your corner. And if you don't have them, go out and get them and do a serious inventory and reassessment. What else does it take? Well, if your relationships are in good standing, that leaves you a lot of time to do something I'm really excited to talk about. Take care of yourself. Self-care. Got another question for you. This is a pretty serious question. Maybe you haven't thought about it in a while. Are you living a balanced life? When I say balance, I'm talking about physical and emotional balance. Are you living a balanced life? If you are, thumbs up. If not, you're not alone. Did you know that 80% of the call-offs in this country, people who get up in the morning, they're calling in to work, it's not because they have the cold. It's not because they have the flu. What do you think they're calling in about? It's the mental health. 80% of those calls is depression and anxiety. Folks, depression is the leading occupational disease in this country. It's not heart disease. It's depression. What is that telling us? There is an epidemic. But I'm here to tell you, even with that high statistic, there is good news. If I had to pick any time in our evolution, any time in our history to be anxious, depressed, out of balance, upset with family members, in the middle of dysfunction, I would pick right now. This is a good time to be out of balance. Why do I say that? Why do I say that? There's so much. There's so many resources. There's an army of support. I'm gonna tell you, there's no shame in my game. I have my therapist on speed dial. Okay, if it's a really deep issue, maybe I need a hypnotherapist. I know 2 of those in town. I have an army, my women's support group. I have an army behind me because this is a crazy world. This is a crazy world that we live in. I have to stay balanced. I have to stay whole. I have to stay very put together to do this work. As simple as that. And I will tell you, there is no shame in needing the help. The shameful part is you sit there, wake up in the morning, you don't feel good. By lunchtime, it's no better. And then you go home, you can't really engage with your family, with your friends, because you're still off kilter. Folks, that's the shame. If you need the help, you need the assistance, go get it. 60% of our benefits in this country, they go unused. We have good benefits. Check with your EAP. Check your insurance benefits. Some of you have awesome benefits. A lot is available to you. Use it. Tap into it. Self-care and balance. If you're in balance, it leaves you open to entertain this next question. I don't want you to write this one down. I want you to really get inside this one with me. Here's the question. How good can it get? I'm serious. How good can it get? How good could this life get if you were functioning at your optimal best? Has anyone in the room had a taste of it? The real good life. It's real sweet, isn't it? When you really feel good and you're on your A game, man, you can do no wrong. I want you in that place as often as you can be. But if you're not in balance, you're not even in the ballpark to be able to entertain that question. If you're in balance, you can do something real special. You can entertain something real special, and I call it the double P. The double P. What is the double P? That's staying in touch with your pleasure and your passion. Folks, if you're not connecting with the things that bring you joy on a consistent basis, you are missing the very best that life has to offer, because that passion, staying in touch, will fuel your success in business and in just about every area of life. One of my great passions is fishing. Okay, that's another gift my grandfather gave me. I like to fish. I like to go to different places. I guess you could say I'm a connoisseur of lakes across the country. A couple years ago, I found myself in Canada. And so I'm having a really nice time. I'm on the lake. I'm sitting on this bridge. Gentleman walks up. He starts fishing too. Just fine personality, great conversation. And I said to him, "Hey, by the way, what line of work are you in? You must love it a great deal. You're such a happy guy." And he said, "No, actually, I despise it. My coworkers are obnoxious, and my boss is even worse. But I'm good at it, so I stay. Let me tell you what I do love. I love coming out here to fish. I love the flex time, because I could fish even more. And I love that fluffy little check that comes in my direct deposit every 2 weeks, because then I can even plan more fishing trips. I enjoy these moments. So it gets me through those moments. passion is contagious, spreads to every area of your life. And when you're in touch with your passion, leads to some real nice things. A couple months ago, my publicist called me and said, look, we have this copy editor picked out for you. I said, no, I want to pick out my own. This is an important project. He said, okay, line up the interview. So we got the interviews. We're in this little room, and we got, the first candidate comes in, very spiffy, Harvard educated. The second candidate comes in, little hair in the bun, looks great, all this stuff, great credentials. And then the third one comes in, okay? And as best I can tell you, she was the female version. The character Big Bird on Sesame Street? That's what she looked like. Because she was like larger than life and wearing this little, yellow dress and kind of gangly. And she came in and she said, how are you doing, Mrs. Kiss? I said, I'm okay, but I'm feeling a little nauseous. And she said, Mrs. Kiss, you can't, no, you can't say that. Because you're using the verbiage wrong. The right way to say it is, I'm feeling nauseated, okay? So she went on to explain, the usage, where it came from, the Latin root words for like 15 minutes. I'm quite entertained, thought it was interesting. She walks out, and my publicist says, well, we know who's not gonna get the position. I said, I threw him a curveball. I said, but she's the one I want. He said, why? She's odd. She's an odd duck. I said, I know, I'm quite sure she's as nutty as a fruitcake. It's not a doubt in my mind, but she's got passion. And she's the one, she will stay up till midnight to get this done. It will hurt her if she does not complete this. And I was right. I don't know where this woman fits in other than that computer processing program in her bedroom. But she's the finest copy editor I ever met, and passion. It's attractive. Stay in touch with it. And the more you're in touch with your passion and balance, the more you're going to be able to reach and stretch for what you want. Folks, we got to reach and stretch for what we want for success in business and life. We got to reach and stretch. I got another question for you. This one makes me chuckle. How much bend can you deal with before you break? You ever thought about that? How much bend can you deal with before you break? According to Forbes magazine, the #1 predictor today of success in business is the capability to adapt to changing environments. The ability to adapt to changing environments. You may have heard this phrase, well, if you keep doing what you've always done, you're going to keep getting what you've always got. Put a big red X through that. Ask the people who are laid off. Ask the people who've had the rug pulled from under their feet. If you keep doing what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got. They were doing what they've always done, working hard, caring for their families. There wasn't a cookie and a prize at the end of that road. You keep doing what you've always done in business and life, I tell you what you're going to get. You're going to come up empty. You're going to be disillusioned and surprised because the world is constantly changing. We have to change, flex, and adapt with it. One of my other passions is studying evolution. I love the giraffe because if you go back and you study this creature, what you will find is originally this gorgeous neck that the giraffe has was just about half the size. That's the crazy thing. Yeah, I'm serious, check it out, Google it. It was just about half the size. And what happened, so the food was down here, okay? But then the landscape started to stretch out. The trees, up here were growing. Food was up here now. So the giraffe had to reach and stretch and say, I don't want to starve. I got to reach. I got to stretch. So this, again, this beautiful neck, the technical term for what that is, it's called an acquired characteristic. It's called an acquired characteristic. And good people, if you want to succeed in business and life today, you may have to acquire a few new characteristics. The people that may give you your biggest breaks, the people that you need to be networking with, they may not look the way you think they're going to look. They may not sound the way you think they're going to sound. The places you need to go to network and to tap your business and to improve your life, they may not be programmed into your GPS. So what do you have to do? We have to step outside of that box. We have to come outside that comfort zone to make these changes. Before I started my career as a professional speaker and trainer, I had a private practice in Chicago for a number of years. One of the most gratifying experiences I had to do with change was with a very round, as in 350 pounds, a round Polish man. He came into my office, very unforgettable character, and he said, Sheila, here I sit. I'm 47 years old. I've been doing the same thing my whole life. I go to work, I crunch the numbers, I come home by myself, go to sleep by myself, wake up by myself. I feel like life is passing me by. And I need to change. I know I need to change, but I'm scared to death and I just don't know how. I don't know where to start. So I looked and I thought about it. Kaizen, the word Kaizen, that's a Japanese word. It means small change for success. There's a book about it, great book. And I looked at him, I said, well, what do you like to do? What are you comfortable with? He looked down at his round stomach and he said, I like to eat. I like to eat. I said, okay. Where do you like to go eat? It seems like you're a connoisseur of the food. He said, well, I am a connoisseur. I go to restaurants in my neighborhood. So, okay. What do you know about soul food? And he said, I don't know much about it, but if it tastes good, I can get to know some things about it. I said, okay, then meet me at Dixon's in Chicago for our next session. So he met me at Dixon's. You never saw someone's eyes get as big as saucers. So we walk in, he goes up to the buffet, he's getting his rib tips, all this good stuff. I get my food, and we sit down, and this was the moment that'll stick in my mind forever. And it was eating, and he looked up, he looked around, he said, Sheila. I said, what? This is where all the women are, some good-looking women in here. I said, yeah, my friend, welcome to the world of adaptability and change. It was very gratifying over the next year to watch him just take these baby steps, just small steps. It started at a restaurant, but then he branched out. He branched out from there. We just have to start with small steps for change. But folks, the adaptability is where it's at. And if you are adaptable, I'll bet that you have an anchor. I'll bet that you have an anchor. And this is my next question for you. When the storms of life blow through, what are you holding on to? What is your anchor? When the storms of life blow through, and they will, I know this for sure, What are you holding on to? What's your anchor? Because in business and in life, we know, what does it do? It's up and down. It's up and down. There's very few things in this life that are certain. And I want to say something here. This is free advice, and it's just my opinion. When you are choosing your anchor, when you're getting in touch with that anchor in your purpose, I would suggest that your true anchor not be associated with anything that has legs. Because anything that has legs can walk. True story. My friend Sheila, beautiful yellow lab, Samson. Sheila opened up her door one night. Samson bolted out. We don't know where Samson is to this day. Messed up thing about it, I shared numerous dinners with Samson and Sheila. Me and Sheila eating dried up tuna sandwich. Samson is over there with beef chunks that were heated. I don't know why Samson would leave. I wouldn't have left that situation. I wouldn't have left that situation. But Samson is gone. She's still not right, even after therapy. If you see Samson, if you see a yellow lab running, that's probably Samson, and he made it to New Jersey. So anything with legs will walk. So we have to make sure that we anchor ourselves around purpose that can sustain us. One of my favorite stories about a true anchor, being anchored in purpose, is a man named Frank Lupa in Chicago. Frank Lupa had been an executive for 15 years, walked into the building one day, and his superior said, "We're consolidating, we don't need you. Here's your brown box. Do what you need to do, collect your items, you need to be out the door." So he did just that. But he threw him a hook, he threw him a curveball. He went home, he talked to his wife, and said, this is what has gone down. This is what has happened. Didn't take him 4 months, didn't take him 4 weeks, took him 4 days. He had started his new business. The next day he went back to the business district, told everyone who would listen to him. He walked it. He walked to those buildings, just walking. "My name is Frank. I have a new business, a courier service." So in other words, he thought, I can't do this work, but I can handle the packages. He said, "You let me handle your packages, I give you a rate. I'll get them there fast, I do good work." Within 6 months, he had just about matched his salary. Within 24, he exceeded his salary. And they asked him, "Frank, how? How in the world did you do that?" His answer was simple. The jobs I have in life don't sustain me. They never have. My faith sustains me. So this is what it is. And he just kept going with it. Folks, it's an anchor. You got to pick and choose what your anchors are. But I'll tell you, if you show me a man or woman who's anchored, wrapped around purpose, the only thing that I can do is step out of the way, because I'm nervous, because they're going to mow you over like a Mack truck. I will offer them a snack and some water on their way, but I'm getting out of the way because they are unstoppable. But that's the combination of purpose, and that's anchored, and that is rooted. Want to do yourself a favor, jump on Amazon.com and order a book. It's called The Long Walk. The Long Walk is about a prisoner. In 1939, he was captured by the army, and he was thrown into a Siberian jail. This is a true story. And he experienced horrors and torture beyond imagination. He found the courage, and he got an opportunity to escape. He escaped with 6 other prisoners. And he walked across the Gobi Desert, and he walked across the Himalayas, And this walk was over 2,000 miles. He reached his destination. They asked him, how it defies logic. How did you do it? How did your legs carry you? He said, my legs didn't carry me. My legs would have given out a long time ago. My purpose carried me. I had a story to tell, and I kept going. Purpose will carry you. Purpose combined with gratitude will do more than that. Question number 5. How do they know? They is the people you work with, your family. How do they know you're grateful? How do they know? How do they know you're grateful? The number one reason that people leave marriages is also the number one reason people leave jobs. What do you think that is? Same reason. It's not money. It's feeling undervalued. Lack of appreciation. I've worked with many people over here. I'll take the pay cut. Someone tell me thanks once in a while. I'll take the hits. If there's some gratitude for what I'm doing. 2 things people never tire of: being thanked and appreciated. People will forget what you did. They will forget what you said, but they will never forget how you made them feel. Nothing is more true of this quote than in business and in life. We would like to think that people are great creatures of logic. I assure you, they are not. They are creatures of emotion. If you like to challenge that premise, put me to the test. You could do 12 back-to-back acts of kindness for a person. I'm talking about bending over backward. The emotional reaction that you get from those acts of kindness will not touch the emotional reaction you will get if you step on them or if you offend their sensibilities. Well, how dare you? I can't believe you did that. Well, wait a minute. I have a track record. I did 12 nice things. What happened? I'm not talking about those 12. I'm talking about what you did now. That's emotion. That's emotion in business and in life. The world is governed by certain laws. They're not Sheila's laws, they're universal laws. And one of them has to deal with gratitude. It's very difficult to expect more and get more when you're not even appreciative of what you have. My little niece, love her dearly, favorite color is orange. I thought it'd be a fine idea to buy a giant box for her for Christmas and just fill it with orange stuff, orange sundresses, orange candles, all this stuff. So I did it and I shipped it out. And she called me a couple weeks later. She said, yeah, I got this box of orange stuff, but only I wish it was pink. Because that's my favorite color now. So I didn't say anything. I said to myself, duly noted. Yeah, I tell you what, that next year she got something pink, all right. She got a little pink box with a little pink card that said Merry Christmas, attached to a little pink book that said the little girl's book of etiquette. Merry Christmas. The world works and the universe works in much the same way. I can't give you more when you're not appreciating what you have. A good friend of mine, Corey Tate, is an aspiring comedian, wants to be a famous comedian on stage. Club contacted him and said, Corey, we want to promote you. We can fill this, so we can get at least 200 people here. Man, you got to do it. And so he said, okay, sure, no problem. He showed up, about 20 people in the audience, and they apologized profusely. They said, we're sorry, we'll back off of this, we can do this again. You can go home. He said, no. I'm grateful for whoever came. I will perform. He did perform. Nothing amazing happened that night. But 2 weeks later, got a call from an HBO executive who was sitting in that audience. Okay, remember the name Corey Tate. I'm pretty sure he's going to get a show. with HBO. But that is the power. That is the power of gratitude. In my house, no less than 7 handwritten thank you notes go out each week. I don't share that to brag and say, oh, I'm writing handwritten thank you notes. I share that because there was a time in my life I wasn't grateful. I wasn't paying attention to my blessings. And life seemed dark. It seemed a little dull. I tell you, I flipped the script and I started to notice the very simple things. I had to start small because my mind was so diminished. I couldn't see the big things. So I get up and I start breathing and say, oh, wow, not bad. This is something to be grateful for. I'm breathing, so that means I'm healthy. Wasn't much going on in life at that point, but I did make my way to the grocery store. Okay, I was kind of broke at this stage in life, but I had enough to get my basic groceries, make a pretty good meal. That's something to be grateful for. And I let it spiral, and I let it snowball. And in a couple months, I looked around and I said, man, I'm in abundance. You know, even my crazy family members will call. I say, they don't have good sense, but they do call. This is not bad, you know. Life is okay. So it's how you position yourself. I'm not coming at you from a Pollyanna perspective. Okay, life is hard. I know that. We're running on parallel tracks. Pleasure, pain, and then there's even a track in the middle. But it's where you choose to direct your energy. And I know very well what's going on. I listen to the news every night. I know very well what's going on. But I choose to focus the lion's share of my energy on the abundance. Because I have to live in this world. And I want to live in this world and do it in a healthy way. Gratitude. Gratitude is just about shifting. It's just about shifting your focus. We are winding down. And I wanted to end with this image. This dog's name is Faith. And many of you may have met Faith, the dog, or you know of Faith, the dog. And Faith was born without any front legs. And I want to tell you more about the story of Faith in just a minute, because Faith has a lot of stamina. I want to ask you the last question. How is your stamina? How is your stamina? In terms of reaching for your goals, how is your fuel? We could all learn a lesson from Faith the dog. Her own mother, this dog's mother didn't want her. The owner said, I'm putting her down, get out of here, I don't want to hear it. Then Judith Stringfellow came along and said, no, I will work with Faith. And she worked with Faith for a year, and she got her to learn to walk and balance on her hind legs. Check out this story. It's an amazing story, because Faith tours the world, an inspirational canine. And what Faith said to the world is what we all need to say on a consistent basis. You will not throw me away. I have value, and don't worry about me. If I fall, I will get back up. Now we all hear these terms, oh, you have to be careful about stumbling and falling in this world. Stumbling and falling is not the issue. If you stumble and fall, you can get back up. I'm talking about people will put their foot out and trip you. They see you trying to run a good race and laugh, make you fall on the concrete, and you'd be sitting there, oh my God, what happened? Oh, is that a bearskin rug? Oh no, that's just a hairy person. Step over them. Is that a doormat? Oh, what is it now? And pretty soon you will be unrecognizable. If you stay down there, you have to have the stamina at giving yourself a reason. The world is filled with millions of people, potential millionaires, billionaires. People could have found their loves right around the corner, recognized their dreams, written their books, but guess what they did? They stopped. They either stumbled or got tripped up, and they would not get back up. It's there for you. I don't know what your dreams are in this room, but I have a feeling you got some big dreams and big hopes. You can get them. You're going to have to keep moving to do it. It's just that simple. In closing, when people of African descent come to this country, they chuckle at Americans for a very good reason, because we have kind of an odd habit. We say sorry. If you trip, sorry, you didn't get that promotion, sorry, sorry. They don't have a word for sorry in these regions of Africa. What they say is poli, poli, P-O-L-I. And poli, the definition of poli is I acknowledge that this has happened or is happening to you. I acknowledge that this has happened or is happening to you. And I honor your courage, character, and conviction to overcome the challenge. So I say to everyone in this room, poli. I know that some people in here, you're going through divorce, you're going through separation, you don't feel good. There's illness, there's a burden on your back that nobody knows about, but yet you get up every morning, you put a smile on your face. To you, I say poli. I say poli to myself. My doctor told me, you better sit your butt down. You need to be on bed rest. I said, I can't miss the people. So I got up this morning, I said poli to myself. They came to see me, they're worth it, I gotta get up. Now after this, I'm gonna stop and get some ice cream, go to sleep, have some help packing this stuff up. But poli, okay? I made it. So not only am I saying to you that I believe in your courage, conviction, overcome it, I believe in your capacity to incorporate what we talked about in your life today, in your business life, in your personal life. I'm expecting you all to knock the ball out of the park. Drop me a line. I want to hear about it, okay? My name is Sheila Robinson Kiss, Mrs. Kiss, and because I appreciate you, I appreciate what New Jersey has done for me. In closing, I brought a lot of cool stuff that I'm going to raffle. I got some full body massages here. I got some gift cards from Lotito's. I got a fitness package from Fitness 201. So I'm going to ask you to do two things. Take out that green little ticket you got. Pay attention to the number because we're going to have a drawing. In addition, rub it because you may get lucky. In addition, on the bottom of this blue sheet, I say, yes, I would like to receive Sheila's monthly newsletter. If you'd like to hear from me a couple times a month, simply put your name and your email, detach it, and put it in your container here. And I send out this newsletter. It's inspirational, and I'm just telling you things about how to keep yourself in balance with your stress in relationship. So that comes at you twice a month. Okay, first, I'm going to raffle off. Yes. You need tickets?
Anyone need a ticket?
Anyone? Because the tickets are on it. There's extras on the table too.
Okay.
Does anyone need a ticket? Or grab a ticket from a blank spot on a table. Because you don't want to miss this. You do not want to miss this. And if you don't like full body massage, I would not be offended. I will pick because last month a guy won and he was like, I don't like to be touched. I like touch, so I'm not offended if you don't want this massage. He needs a counselor. Okay. Okay, I'll mix them up again. Okay, first massage goes to 752-8172. Come on up. Wait a minute. Wait. Do you like to be touched? Okay. There you go. Next winner. Congratulations. Next winner, 752-8185. 752-8185.
That was yours.
Come on. Okay. That's the massage. Come on up. Next winner, 752-8213. 752. Come on, Frank. You're welcome. Okay. Next, I'm raffling off lunch at the deli. 752-8204. All right. Congratulations. Okay. Next, 752-8216. 752-8216. Did you win? Come on. Okay. Next, another lunch at the deli. 752-8192. All right. Come on. Next, I have a full fitness training package at 201 Fitness. Next person, 752-8238. Come on up. There's probably people there that would touch you. Okay, thank you. And next we have 752-8240. Come on up. Okay, thank you so much. I enjoyed myself.
Okay, wow. Oh my God, phenomenal. Sheila is great. Any questions for Sheila?
Sheila, the name of your company is Lake Calm. Is that back to your fishing passion?
It is. Lay calm in
Okay,
the storm.
very good. And I've been to many events where there are drawings, and you just walked the walk. You didn't check anybody's number. You took people at their word, and I respect that. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Great. Conversation stamina.
I just want to say, Sheila, this was wonderful. I'm so glad I came. I was one of those people who was actually considering sleeping in.
Glad you woke up.
And I'm so glad I didn't.
I'm glad you woke up. Thank you. I'm glad you
Okay,
woke up.
great. Wow. I want to thank you all for coming today because Bagels in Business is expanding, it's becoming bigger, and it's really because of you. We have really good quality people in the room, as well as our speakers. I network with guest speakers, and when they come, I don't know sometimes what I'm getting. Everything looks good. I look at the PowerPoints ahead of time. I speak to them. We have sit downs, and you just don't know sometimes whether a person really has presence. Sheila has presence. She's great. What happened with the situation with Sheila, John Aramini, who works with the college, told me, you got to speak to a young lady named Sheila. And so John brought her into my office, we talked, had a great conversation, had a great vibe with her, and I said, look, you have the Bagels in Business. And so she's here, and I'm really, really happy that she is here. Because I think, especially the times right now with the economy and everything, and you trying to run a business, there's some challenges. And so I think she spoke to a lot of that, which is really, really good.